Hello, everybody, and welcome to the stream scene. How's it going, guys? I am Lowco, and we're going to be talking about VR streaming today. I'm joined here by TheHunterWild. What's up, Hunter?
Mud dudes and gals. Good morning, afternoon, evening, time of day. I just woke up. Good morning. That's how my time orientation works. I am the odd man out on today's show because I'm the only one here who does not have a VR headset. I'm super, as always, ready to take notes. I'm super excited to get information from people who have the deeds, who have the information, experts in the field of VR. CyborgAngel, DanieltheDemon. DanieltheDemon, tell us what you're about.
What's up, guys? I'm DanieltheDemon. I broadcast a variety of games. Mainly, I play Warframe. I'm crazy, hyperactive, interactive broadcaster. If that's something that you guys are interested in, definitely come on by to our channel, and definitely might be something that you would enjoy. So thank you so much for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, CyborgAngel?
So I'm CyborgAngel. I'm a variety streamer, and I have been streaming a ton of VR for a very long time on the HTC Vive.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to say my thing. Oh,
yep.
Yeah. Likewise, HTC Vive.
So 2 Vives, but Lowco, you've also got a fresh VR setup.
Yeah, so I actually did my very first VR stream today. It was definitely a learning experience, but it went well overall. And I am using the Oculus Rift. So I guess I'm interested to see if the setup's different than setting up HTC Vive. Because for me, it was basically, it's like HDMI into the computer and USB into the computer. And then you launch like the Oculus program on your PC. And you can just capture it like you would capture a console or something. It was super straightforward, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. What about the HTC Vive?
We wouldn't capture it like a capture card. It would more like be a window. So we'd either capture the Vive mirror, which is a window that we open once we plug it in and get everything going, and we can see what we're seeing. We can open up a Vive mirror, or when the game opens, you can capture the game that you're playing instead as just game capture. So
yeah,
on my end, I have a difference.
Oh, do you do something different?
Yes,
Yeah.
Of course. So since CyborgAngel stated that she has a window capture, a lot of people do. I'm just trying to adjust this. I'm like, my head is super pale right now. It's like shining so hard. I'm laughing so hard when I'm looking at myself. I'm like, dang. But yeah. So since she has a single PC setup, and this is why I asked.
Right.
Single PC, you would want to capture it like a game or a window. In that kind of in that sense, but with Lowco, since I have a 2 PC setup, I cannot capture my HTC Vive like a game since it's not connected to my streaming PC. It is connected to my gaming PC, and I will tell you guys why I set it up that way in just a little bit as well. But definitely, I have to capture it like a capture card. So it's a source like what you have.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. So I'm on a 2 PC setup too, and initially I was like kind of confused about should I set it up on a gaming PC or my streaming PC because I didn't know how the capture was going to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I ended up picking the right one, I guess, going with the gaming PC, and because like your capture card captures everything on your desktop.
Correct.
Like I guess with the Oculus, what I did was like Steam has integration with. Does it have it with the Vive too? Like you can actually set up mirroring through Steam with whatever game you're playing. So I was talking to Venelis about this, and he was helping me set it up. So sometimes it'll pop up naturally for you, I guess, but like other times if it doesn't, you can use the Steam VR application to actually set up mirroring, especially if you're doing Steam games.
So the mirror is just a visual duplication.
Yeah, it's like, so sometimes it'll just be a full screen, or sometimes it'll show you like each eye and then you choose an eye or something, which obviously is not ideal because then the resolution.
Pick an eye!
Yeah. But yeah, so, I mean, with Beat Saber, which was the first game I played, it just like popped up on my monitor, and like with my capture card, like it just captures what's on the screen.
Huh.
The angel was going to say something there.
Do you know what? I've got a memory like a fish.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just like,
no worries.
Not
there
anymore.
So when you on the Vive, when you install the Vive, it actually has to link, from what I know, to Steam to be able to play any kind of Steam games.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it does that, you have the choice. When the game opens, it can be full screen, and it does show the game. But as like you stated, there's some times where games where it doesn't full screen, it's not showing the whole window, it shows like an eye, and you would have to full screen your scene almost to mimic the eye. So it would then, that's what I did on certain games where when Beat Saber wasn't doing, until I added some mods to the Beat Saber, it fixed up a little bit of stuff for me. But.
So there is a bit of complexity in not only setting it up, but also like on an app and game by game basis.
I would say a bit is an understatement. Like I can be running like, you know, techie problems for a good 2 hours before streaming, depending on what I'm doing. But I run my VR much more complicated because it's on one system. I think it's not as easy to figure out what the issue is.
Okay, so in terms of the hardware, then, so it sounds like it's an easier situation to have a 2 PC setup. Yeah.
Yes, if you're not doing mixed reality. That's
What's
when it's
mixed
like,
reality?
Is that augmented reality?
This is a whole nother thing.
So mine, I do virtual reality and I do mixed reality, meaning that if I'm in a game like Beat Saber and I'm holding 2 lightsabers, you see my webcam, but if I hold up my hand, the lightsaber's attached. So I'm in the game.
Let me see if I have a video.
Oh, with Live client.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But
I
did
don't
it
have
before that, and it was a lot more complex before that.
Really?
Yes. Doing it before that, you're calibrating everything yourself, and it takes forever.
So what Live is what we're not stating to you. So there's 2 different ways to broadcast VR.
There's a video of that.
There's VR virtual reality where you're in the game, and that's what we've been doing. Like Lowco, you did virtual reality, I do virtual reality, and I just get my cameras and green screen. You can see me in that kind of thing. It's kind of mixed, but it's not really. What she does and what Live Client helps out with, and you can look it up on Steam. It's LIV Client, and basically it does a whole entire like reorganization to where you're in the VR game. So like it's like behind you and you're doing stuff and you're inside the game. So while like if Beat Saber were coming, it looks like you're actually slicing it because you're in the game rather than a visible hands lightsaber and then there's you on the bottom right with your controllers and stuff. So that stuff is complicated. I don't even know how to do that.
Hunter looks completely...
I'm absorbing this. I'm also working through like a bunch of ideas. So I was thinking back to like, we've seen some like really old school, like corny and cheesy versions of this. I assume that these actually look really awesome instead of like that late 80s kind of like, whoa.
Oh, no. This is like, I mean, the link in the chat.
That I have not seen.
Yeah, the link in the chat is perfect. That shows you exactly what it looks like. You can place the camera, or you say the virtual camera, anywhere in the virtual world.
Oh, that looks amazing.
It's just very complex to move the virtual camera. That's the thing.
Oh, that looks amazing.
But it's not just Beat Saber. It's stuff like Space Pirate Trainer. I don't know if any of you guys have tried that. That's a really like small game that you can play on there as well. But that's guns, so they can see you shoot guns and duck out of the way of bullets. So you're like literally ducking out of the way when stuff is coming towards you. Like you feel very much like you are part of the Matrix. It's amazing. But you can even do it with like story games. The problem with story games is because you're turning around all the time and the camera's in one place. You could be looking at the camera so they can't see what's in front of you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's where it gets a bit tricky. So yeah.
Because they're always seeing that fixed angle, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Also something that I'm
walking around with a camera.
Really? Exactly. Something that I've learned is it's going to be, that's why I haven't been able to test with Live. You, I believe, need to have more cameras. So I would have to purchase extra cameras and put it onto my game PC, because currently my 2 C920s are on my streaming PC.
Oh, so standard webcams.
Exactly. And
okay.
You can use standard webcams, but I'm guessing I would have to purchase more and put it onto my gaming PC to do the Live client, because you can't use, like, you would have to then open up Live on, it would be impossible to do a 2 PC setup with Live. You would have to literally have extra cameras if you would want to do that with 2 PC.
But you'd need the cameras on the PC that's running the Vive program and live, otherwise it won't be able to capture it all together, because it meshes them together. It meshes you in between the layers of the game. So if something walks in front of you, it covers you. If something walks behind you, you're in front of it, but you're holding whatever item. So yeah.
This just blows my mind.
What about
like, I just set up a VR, and now I'm like, oh, but you can do this. It's like,
we're
okay.
getting into like the super custom stuff.
What about something that my simpler mind can understand? The hardware, the price difference between the headsets themselves, like what the options are there, just kind of generally like a cursory view of them, as well as the hardware that you need on the PC. I imagine there's like a lot more conversation to be had about that. Like, do you have to have like a mid-range rig perfectly fine, or do you have to like look at specifically building out a VR rig, or maybe just swapping out a couple of pieces?
It depends on what you're doing with it. If you're streaming VR, not just playing it, then you need a complex rig, because streaming already takes up a ton of CPU. And if you're doing VR at the same time, that's like you're maxing out. It's bottlenecking, because your graphics card will be fine. Anything, 1060 upwards is fine with VR. I haven't seen a problem with graphics cards whatsoever. It's your CPU. Okay. It's your CPU, and that's the reason why if you're streaming it, you need to have like a really high-end PC with an amazing CPU, or dual stream. Well, dual setup.
Yeah, that's a good big benefit of a 2PC setup.
If you just want to do it for fun and keep it at your house, there's laptops that you can do it on. There's multiple things that are medium.
Okay.
But it's if you want to broadcast it, you needed it to be complex and be able to spend some money on some PC parts.
Well, yeah, welcome to streaming, I guess.
Yep.
Right? I mean...
Well, the big thing a lot of people will be asking, I think, is which one to buy?
That's
Oculus
what I was gonna ask.
or Vive? Yeah. And it's all... I can't wait to hear what Cyborg has to say. To me, I've only been able to touch HTC Vive. I never played an Oculus or any of that. In my aspect, in my... VR journey to buy a VR, I asked some of my friends that already have VR, as well as my mentor, who does help me out with all my computer parts and everything, and every single one of them said the HTC Vive, for the mere fact that, not that Oculus is bad in any way, it's just that the Vive seems to have grasped the virtual reality a little bit better. I don't know too much specs in wise. Again, I never tested the Oculus to say, there's this reason, and this I believe CyborgAngel has, because again, she's been a VR enthusiast. But the HTC Vive is freaking awesome. Like I purchased it, or I was gifted it from my community, very thankfully, to be able to broadcast these VR streams to our show. And with that being said, oh shit, I just lost it, man. I got the fish. Don't worry about it.
A little bit of the trail, because that's my brand right there. Is just like it tails off, and you're like, oh, where did it go?
I forgot. Don't worry about me. Next, okay, Cyborg. Yes.
Yeah, Cyborg. Did you do like side-by-side comparisons? Did you get your hands on both of them, or did you just look at like the reviews?
I mean, I did. It was mainly reviews. I did test out the Oculus very, very briefly, but the reviews and the information of how you set up each one, and where well, as in like get actually set up. So I'll explain in a second wires and like connections wise why I think the HTC is better. Don't get me wrong though, the Oculus has amazing controllers, amazing freaking controllers. They are so much better than the HTC Vives. But when I looked at the specs of stuff and the setup, so how many wires you needed, how many connections you needed,
it's a lot of wires.
Yeah, exactly, a lot. And the fact that where the HTC Vive were aiming to go and where the Oculus was aiming to go, it's like the Oculus is catching up with what the Vive is doing now. Because when the Oculus first came out, and there's so many subjects I need to go on right now, but when the Oculus first came out, the Oculus was designed to be a sit down and look around sort of, and I'm going to game, but I'm going to game without really moving or walking, or if you're standing up, you're kind of just turning around, but you're in the same spot. The Vive made theirs and aimed to be I'm going to walk about, I've got a whole room of space, and this is my area that I can move in, and when I move in this space, I'm going to move in the game. And so they were already 2 steps or 5 steps ahead and thinking, well, we're going to aim past that, So Oculus came out with the original idea, but Vive was like, nah, actually, there's more you can do. So I went with the Vive just because of how, not just because of how advanced they wanted to be and how far ahead they were, but also when it comes to the setup. With the Oculus, you have 2 sensors, but you also have to not only plug them in, but if I'm correct, you have to put in USB wires from both the sensors and run it all the way back to your PC. Yeah, you like, Daniel, you know exactly what I'm on about, because already plugging it in is like, wires, setting it up.
So the setup for
so there's two sensors that both are USBs, and then you have your headset, which is HDMI and USB.
Whoa. Yeah, the HTC has 2 sensors as well, 2 bases, where you're supposed to put them diagonal from each other. So, and they would have to be anywhere 6.5 feet, so 6 feet and 5 inches or higher, if you're going to be able to move in a pretty good room or area. I don't think you can go lower than that. There's tripods, or you can mount it on the wall. I can
actually
give a link.
put them on the floor.
You can?
You can put them on the floor and they will still work.
What? Does it read well?
Yeah, if you put them on the floor and you tilt it upwards, it will still do the same job. It will.
Well, there you go. See, that I didn't know.
You need it at a certain height, but I could put it mid height if I wanted to, if I've got nothing to stand it on and it's just looking directly at me, or I can just put one on the floor and one up there, or one mid height, and yep, he's noting it down.
No, not even that. Just I'm learning something new every day. This is why I'm here. I'm excited.
Yeah, there's a lot you could, like, they're really flexible. You can do a lot with them. Because
so how much space do you need?
That's what I was going to ask.
How much play space compared to the Oculus do you need?
HTC Vive, I just recently did this like 3 days ago of recalibrating. I went from a bigger room to a smaller room. HTC, when you're setting up, gives you 2 choices. You can do room scale or you can do standing scale. It doesn't mean that you're going to stand. It just gives you a smaller radius compared to room. When you click room, you actually have to hold a controller and you can do your radius while holding to show where you're allowed to, work around with. And then it says, okay, this is your area, and it molds it to that. So you don't hit anything. That's why, but again, Lowco said she hit something, but she didn't hit it with a controller. She hit it because of a wire.
No. What happened with that?
I did. So I had my first VR stream today, and I was playing Beat Saber. And the Oculus, I don't know how the Vive is, but the Oculus wire, like, this is it right here. It's pretty thick. It's pretty heavy, too. And I was,
that's on the
doing
controller?
my thing. Well, no, this is for the headset.
Okay.
The controllers are wireless.
Okay.
But I was like, so it like basically dangles like in front of me when I'm playing. And so I was like, doing my thing and doing the beats, and I smacked the wire, and the wire flew and smacked my glass of water on the ground and broke the glass.
A cascade of failures. Oh,
that's
God.
my first VR damage done.
It will be one of many. I have knocked over many a drink and glass.
This is why I'm drinking out of a plastic cup today. I normally use a glass cup, but I went to the plastic after that.
It changed real quick. Something about that, a lot of people are like, because you said Oculus has it in the front, the cord.
It goes to the back, but like when I'm because I'm facing my computer and it's plugged into the back of my computer. There's actually like not a lot of like
really
slack.
There's no slack.
I mean, I'm going from like across my desk to like the back of my PC, so I mean, it was just like dangling and like kind of like pulling a little bit.
Understood.
I don't know how much like the HTC has.
It's freaking long.
It
like
really
long as
it's a thick wire.
Not only that, I know HTC wouldn't do, for the reason that it's so long, they even have a mount that you can put on your ceiling to be able to attach the wire.
See, I don't think I'd have enough wire to do that.
What? Wait, so that just looks like
I don't think I could get it. Yeah.
Scantron stuff. Yeah, dude.
I would have to add like all kinds of really cool. I'd have to add some serious bulk to that and some lights. Man, if I could get that
Look at these ideas.
That could look really awesome.
Stop right there and hold on.
Like the old like Johnny Mnemonic headset. You guys remember Johnny Mnemonic? Oh, there's
Nope.
like all these, oh. Anyway, I'm fantasizing. I'm going too far out. What about games? The games themselves. Well, games and software. There's like there's been a steady stream of increasingly better and more appealing, I think, to a general market games titles. I think there's also stuff like I've seen people like sculpt and paint, and like even one friend of mine has like a street art game or app of some sort. So like what's available right now? How far has that come since you were initially looking at it, like the games and the apps development? And then kind of what are we looking at for the future? And like, what are you excited about?
Go on, Daniel, I'll let you say what you've played first, because I might cover everything and then like
Yeah, I think
I've been doing it so much longer. Go on.
I can't wait to hear your list. I only have because I want to get recommendations. This is awesome. So
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the games that I've played, when I got my HTC Vive, it had a promotion coming out with Fallout. I have not played Fallout on VR yet, but I did play Elder Scrolls Skyrim. It is literally the full game of Elder Scrolls Skyrim in VR, which is awesome. You can choose different ways to walk. You can do a point and click walk. That's something that is in VR that people need to know. There's two different types of ways of walking in VR, and it will give you that choice. There's a point and click where literally you're holding with your controller, and it gives you a measuring stick, like it goes longer as you hold it, and you get to pick which way you want to go. Once you let go, it teleports you to that. That's point and click. Or a simulate walking where when you hold the button, your character walks, and when you turn your head, it moves that way.
That's awesome.
I like that.
So that's the way that
better.
I like playing, and that's the way that I played the Skyrim, and it was fun, but it's hard to play those types of games because it's so much, and it's like, oh my god, I could only play for 3 hours. I was sweating like bullets. My head was spinning. But when I play Beat Saber, and there's no games that have a lot of movement and things like that. Yeah, movement with this, but I mean like no too many moving your head around and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't get
feel like that could be nauseating after a while.
But that's what that. So Beat Saber.
Beat Saber is like a must. I feel
must.
like
That's why everybody seems to have that one.
it's so much fun.
So fun to watch.
It's like DDR. Like
Yeah,
it is. Elder Scrolls Skyrim and Fallout. I haven't tried that one yet, but yes, I just saw the Hellblade. So like got a VR upgrade. I want to try that. I saw Cyborg just played it. That what?
What really?
Yes.
Amazing.
Really?
Yeah. Like it was. I felt like I was actually there. I felt like I was one of the voices in her head. And
the atmosphere is so good in that game.
Oh, it's like even when you're in it, it's even worse, or not even worse.
Oh wow!
Scary.
Intense. Yeah, it's scary. It's like really scary. Like I walked through a forest at one point, and while you're playing the game, you don't notice it, but I noticed that there was eyes appearing on all the trees, and I was like, "Oh my god, what is that?" And there was a couple of points where I went, "Oh my god," and knocked the microphone, and then I was like, "Ah, what's in front of me?" Like because I forget that the microphone's there, and you just scare yourself on absolutely everything in VR, and I didn't think Hellblade would be that intense, but it like amazing. The problem is with games, as it gets better, a lot of people are going to experience or sometimes experience motion sickness, and I think that's you do, Daniel.
On certain games, there are certain games that I feel motion sickness, and there's certain games that I don't. Like again, I have about 15 games on VR. Half of them would give me motion sickness, half of them wouldn't. I can really definitely recommend Rick and Morty for anybody who's a fan and likes just stupid office cleaner. What?
I haven't played it yet.
Please do. It is so funny. It is so funny. If you like the show,
that, yeah.
I love it. I love it. I can't wait to try that one.
If you know anything about Job Simulator, it's almost that. You're basically their slave, and you gotta do whatever they want. Rick and Morty, you're a clone. So it's pretty fun. Sorrento VR is the game that I would say is so tight, but it gets me so much motion sickness. Think about you being a literally a Warframe. It's a ninja that gets to jump around everywhere, slicing people and shooting them with guns.
That does sound really good.
But it's for VR, it's hard. It's hard.
I think with motion sickness in general, like everyone will experience some kind of motion sickness when you play VR. The problem is some people will experience it more than others. And with that, I think you just need to take more breaks. Don't just not play it and be like, I can't play this. because I feel sick, or I'm just going to power through the sickness. Don't ever do that, by the way.
No, you will get more sick.
Throwing up. You will legit end up hugging the toilet, throwing up later. So don't do that. As soon as you feel sick, take it off, because if you don't take it off and give yourself like 5 minutes just for your brain to relax, because it goes into overdrive, your brain will associate VR with motion sickness. So you'll actually end up getting it more often if you allow your brain to just deal with it instead of retraining.
It is an endurance thing, like she's saying. Because I could, when I first started, I only could have done it for about maybe an hour or two. Now for some games I can do 4 hours, 5 hours.
So do you think it's a better idea to like kind of like schedule that for yourself as a streamer? Be like, I'm going to put in 2 hours today and maybe extend it if I'm feeling great. That kind of thing.
It's probably good to keep that in mind. Like, especially, I would say like with any new VR game that you're going to play, like you don't know what it's going to do to you, right? Like you play Hellblade for the first time and you might be like, get too nauseous or like, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's a smart thing to do.
With Hellblade, even though it's third person, sorry, did you need to, I was speaking over you slightly there.
No, man.
Okay. I think with Hellblade, even though it's third person view, it's kind of like you still get, like you said, you don't know what a game's going to be like. And I ended up getting motion sick after the first half an hour. But at the beginning of the program, or the beginning of the game, and I don't get very motion sick, it says take a 5-minute break every half an hour. And if you did that, you can actually last a little bit longer in the game. So I don't think it's a case of going, I'm only going to stream 2 hours or 3 hours of VR. You can do a longer duration of time, but you need to make sure that you are stopping, sitting down, taking it off, having water, because oh my god, you feel so dehydrated when you're in the Vive. It's like going to the gym. So just sit down, have a bit of water, and just talk to your viewers. Like, you don't have to stop playing, just take 10 minutes out to talk to them, because you can read the chat better, I'm guessing, when you're out of it. So
yeah, actually, that's something I wanted to bring up. Like, how can you read your chat in VR? Do you take your headset off to read chat? How does that work?
There's multiple programs. There's one free that I use. What's his name? He actually is a Twitch staff. He's the one who created the IRL backpack. He also created a Twitch VR mod where you put it in there and you can just flip your controller and you see chat.
Is that the open VR chat?
That is correct.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it's a plugin. You have to install it into the plugins for the Vive, I think, if I remember rightly. When I first started doing the Vive, the apps were only just being made, so they would always crash every now and then. But now they're really stable, they work really well, and like Daniel said, it's as simple as it's not in your way, it doesn't ruin the experience. You just turn your control around, like you're looking at a wristwatch on the inside when you want to read the chat, and then it disappears if you turn it back.
That sounds great.
Perfect.
Yeah, that seems pretty handy.
It is. And if
I feel like that. I was gonna say, like, I feel like that was what was holding VR streaming back the most, was like the lack of chat interaction.
Yep.
But it's now becoming a very easy thing because it's now being accessible in all games. Like, not every game allows it. It's a plugin again, but mostly every game, especially major games, allow that plugin, and it's free. So you just put it in, bada bing, bada boom. You get to read your friends and all that stuff. So awesome. I enjoy it.
I was going to say, I do think that VR's become more mainstream to Beat Saber. In a sense, I will say that. A lot of people were like, oh, it's just a gimmick. Oh, there's not really much on it, blah, blah, blah. Because they didn't really look into it further. Because I tell you now, before Beat Saber, there's still a ton of stuff out on it. But I think it's became more mainstream because that's just been out there more in the public. I don't know, the public eye has seen Beat Saber so much more that everyone's jumping on it now. But I have to say as well, if you are jumping on for that reason, oh my gosh, there are so many other amazing things that you can play on there.
Yeah. There was two other games that I didn't say, but I want her to say it. She's gonna say it. I'm gonna say
it. Okay, is one of them Paranormal Activity?
What?
Oh,
no.
God.
I bet that one's scary.
It's not about that.
Oh, yeah, I have like my first playthrough of Paranormal Activity is actually a VOD on my channel, and looking back at it now, my second playthrough was worse than my first playthrough. I actually started hyperventilating and had to take off the headset because I was like legit.
Yeah, that's when I don't need to be in there.
Nope.
Yeah. You actually feel like you're there, like you're walking around a house and paranormal activity. I mean, you know what happens. You know what happens.
No.
And there's stuff that you see, and then after a while, there's something that comes after you in this house. I streamed it the whole entire game in one go. It was about 6 or 7 hours long last year when I first got the Vive, and I could literally see the woodwork on the walls. And you keep telling your brain, it's just a game, it's not a problem.
Yeah, you're trying to talk yourself through it.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden a door rattles behind you, and that's it.
It brings you right back into that moment. Wow.
Like you legit, like I ran into my wardrobe. Like I literally ran and headbutted my closet, trying to run into a virtual closet because this woman was chasing after me, and I ran away. And as I ran away, I went to hide in this closet, but because I was struggling to open the closet in VR, as soon as I opened it, I kind of like walked into my closet instead.
Oh god.
And there have been times, because I have a green screen, that you can't actually see that I've hit something, but I've done it with such force at times. All you'll see is me bounce off of something see-through. You'll just see this off of like something completely see-through because of the green screen, and you'll hear the bang. So yeah.
Skaboom. That sucks, man.
Yep,
Dude, you will get scared. You will get scared. My dog scares me all the time. They come in and I get scared. Even when I'm not playing a scary game. It's just when you don't see anything in front of you like that and you just get touched, you're like
yeah, exactly.
I feel like that would be really easy. Like I'll just be playing like No Man's Sky right now, and I'll just be, looking at the environment, and I have an alert that's like a baby laugh, and I'm like, calm that down. I can only imagine what that's like if you have like a full immersion system.
Yeah, I like can't do scary games like this. I can't imagine being there. Like,
wow.
Neither can I. So I was really proud when I first did the playthrough, because there was points. I think 15 minutes into the game, I didn't even see anything much, and I was like, I can't do this. Chat, I'm gonna have to stop this game, like cancel it, like I can't do it. And I just forced myself through, and you are so proud of yourself. Just like when you can't play one on the PC. Once you get through it, you are so proud of yourself.
No, I
never
have done that.
Like,
there's one game that I can't do, or the Impossible or whatever game is, the one where you're what is it called? Where you're literally sitting in front of a computer and you're trying to hack through the dark web. That game, if they did that in VR. Welcome to the game. That's what it is.
I'm terrified of that.
I literally turned off everything. I thought I broke my computer because of how much I freaked out. And that was just a normal PC game. VR horror, yeah, right, dude. I'm a horror enthusiast, but I can't do that in VR. Like you put yourself in a psychological.
Yeah.
Yes, like, absolutely.
Like if you have to be a person that likes that. Likes that psychological trip if you want to be into that always. I'm like,
They'll still be scared.
Yeah. That sounds so fun to me.
Like there's a game that's like that I can't play. So like Welcome to the Game terrifies me, and I couldn't play like something like that in the VR. Hence the fact I cannot touch Emily Wants to Play. Because Emily Wants to Play is in the VR, and that is one about a doll that suddenly creeps up on you, and you need to find out what's happening in this house before the doll finds you. And it's awful. I played like 2 seconds of it, and I was like, no. Because she literally jumps at you. And when something jumps at you in the VR, it doesn't matter whether nobody's pushing you. You're falling.
Yeah.
You're falling back.
You feel it, dude.
Like I was in another game. What was it? Don't Knock Twice. I've played that in VR. And I was in the middle of a wall. So I'd made my way into the middle of a wall in a house. So the part that you can't see. And I had to knock my way. Yeah. Like I was in the middle of 2 rooms in the wall. And I had to find my way out. So I had this, like, I think it was a pickaxe or something. And I was trying to break through the other wall. And as I broke through, this fucking spirit, sorry, I'm trying not to swear, this spirit, like, just flew at me. And I stepped on the wire, the Vive wire, and I just went over. That was it. It looked like I literally punched my face, and I just went over. Yeah. It looked like my leg went all, like, jelly-like because it stepped on the wire and it was trying to stand up and it wasn't happening. And yeah, it's that clip's had a lot.
That's gotta make for like some great clips though, like endless amount of clips.
Yeah.
One must-have game I would say for any VR person. If you are not only getting it for Beat Saber, please make sure you get it for Super Hot VR. That is one. That's what I thought you were gonna say.
Oh, it's so cool.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
it
played
is.
super hot on PC and I loved
Yeah,
it. I would
I
definitely
love
play
Please
VR.
buy it on the
Oh
VR,
my
and I'm
God,
telling you,
I'm
Loco, it is the best.
Really?
It's amazing.
Okay.
Do you like the Matrix? Do you want to feel like Neo? Do you want to do
Yes.
some like?
Yeah.
I put on Crystal Method,
Oh,
which is a
so
band,
good. Yes.
or I put on what's the other one? Prodigy, and I just put a playlist and I just randomized it, and it felt I was in the movie. It was so awesome.
Yeah.
Super.
That's oh
hot.
man. Okay, that's on my list.
And Space Pirate Trainer, it's such a small one, but Space Pirate Trainer, you literally feel like you're right in the Matrix, dodging. Like, there's clips of me and a gif made of me dodging a bullet while shooting, and I look like I'm profesh. Should have been in the Matrix movie. Like, hire me now,
Damn.
please.
Yes.
Like, dodging a bullet while shooting at the same time.
Was it
I
called
owned that.
Super Pirate?
It's called Space Pirate Trainer.
Space Pirate.
I saw that one. That's on my list as well. That one is dope. There's it's different modes if I'm
That's
correct, right? Like
brilliant. Not on Space Pirate Trainer, no, there's just the one mode, but there's different
Okay.
levels. So it goes up in levels, and you have either a shield or two guns. So you've got your two guns, but all I've got to do is reach behind the back of my back and pull out a shield instead.
Damn.
It's cool. Like, it's so cool.
So you said future games. What future games would you like in VR? And in all honesty, I think a lot of people will feel the same from what I'm saying. There is already one. It's not very well done. It's okay, but I can't wait to finally have a really good MMORPG VR where you can literally get into it almost like
Dude.
dot hack, almost like Sword Art Online, almost something like where you can spend those hours and grind with people that are also in the VR. There is one game called Orbius VR, which is an MMO, but it's more like a Minecraft graphics,
Yeah.
really, really, really bad. But there is a community. It is playing. It's cool. I played it a little bit, but I want a real good one with real good graphics or something that we can have.
We
That's
want
my
the
Dude, like-
Oasis. Is what we want.
yes.
Can we have the Oasis already? Like, that's what we want. Like, but somewhere where, yeah, you can gain your own freaking currency, level up your character, gain items, and build a house, and just, like, have everything. Like, but Orbis does amazing for what it is graphics-wise. I can understand why it started there. And I'll
Mhm.
tell you now, I've spent hours in Orbis before, fishing.
Hell yeah.
Believe it or not, fishing. I wasn't even killing anything. Just sat down next to a pond
You love
in
fishing.
Orbis.
Dude,
Yeah.
but you actually
I've never
fish?
done it in real life, but I just got a rod and I was fishing in Orbis, and all of a sudden, all these other players started fishing in the same area, and we just started chatting. And you can talk, and it's like they're next to you, so you can hear where they are. So if they're sitting next to you over there, it's like,
So
hey,
moving into the future, recreating the social experience that. So do you feel like we've seen this kind of stuff in a lot of sci-fi, where it's sort of like a bell curve of how this functions. We went from very few virtual interactions at all, or none at all, to then radio and telephone occasionally, and then now everybody's we've definitely secluded ourselves inside our houses much more often than ever before in history. But then recreating those social experiences, virtualizing them to be more of a mimicry of, or even a replacement for, in some circumstances, the physical locale interaction with other people. Is that going to be more common in both games and just creating virtual spaces?
oh my god, definitely.
Look
Definitely.
at VR chat, dude. Like they don't even do anything. They just talk. And
VR
people love it.
chats. Have you not seen the new one?
What do you mean the new one?
VR chat's like a child's game. Like, forget VR chat. There's another one, and I've been to it, and they have a club that runs with a live DJ in VR who DJs through his VR. Okay,
That's cool.
Every
That's
Friday, and I can go there
Okay.
on a Friday. It's called and god damn it, I forgot the name. Wait.
So this is the sci-fi future space that we've all been dreaming about for 30 years.
I mean,
Hey, I'm ready.
it's not even a case of a live DJ DJing there. He DJs there, but he also has a virtual phone, right? And on the virtual phone, he then periscopes to Twitter sometimes. So he'll be DJing, going, "Hey guys, I'm here with so-and-so tonight. Are you heading down to the club, blah, blah, blah." And on Twitter, you can see it. Like I was like, how's this?
He's streaming from within
You
VR
can see the inside the virtual world, like he's holding the phone in the virtual world. Like you
That
can
is
his
so sick.
periscope is inside the virtual world. So he'll be holding it up and like talking to himself, you know, they're like, yeah, this is what we're doing, blah blah blah. Say hello, crowd, and everyone on the dance floor will be like, hey, with our avatars and stuff. And
Okay,
I've gone shopping 2 hours before going, who am I going to be today?
Like, when do we get into the terror mode of infinite regress where I find myself 7 virtual worlds in because somebody made a virtual world within the virtual world, and then I get out of that one and I'm like, yes, I can have a sandwich. Oh no. Infinite regress. I'm stuck in all the virtual worlds. I'm like 20 doors in. I don't know where I am anymore.
That'd be so sick, dude.
It's like Inception.
That's sort
you
of
gotta, like, jump
Yeah,
levels.
exactly. You get out of one world and you're like, woo, sandwich time.
You don't know like when the real world is at that point. Like you're like, am I in real life now? Like,
yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
Sure.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I think Chip was asking about that. Do you guys, when you get out of a virtual engagement of some sort, do you still sometimes have either the physical situation, sort of like sea legs is what I related to, like when you get off a boat and you still kind of feel the rock of the motion of the ocean, if you will. When you get out of a virtual space, you take that off. You've been doing it for like, I don't know, 8 hours. I don't know if your necks are huge now from like holding up the headpiece. Do you still like, are you still reaching out into the real world in a way that's similar to virtual reality?
I did that.
Are you still stuck
like,
in that mode?
The first
did that today?
So I just got my VR set on Friday, so like when I first set it up and everything, like I only played it for like an hour, and then I like went to go on the couch and I felt like I was like trying to reach for things, and I was like I was just like, what? Like it felt so weird afterwards,
Yeah.
but today it felt fine.
I would say definitely when you're first starting off, you feel that. I remember when I took off, like I got really into a game for the first couple of hours, and when I took it off, you feel like wobbly a little bit. I would say sea legs rise. Like I wouldn't say like you're stuck in that reality you can't get out kind of thing.
No mental like cage or something.
Yeah, nothing like that. But it's definitely 100% when you get out, you're just you're trying to readjust to what you're seeing, because you just went into a different world. Because if you go like this, like I dare anybody to do this and walk outside for the whole day where you can't see the side. It's a different world.
Yeah,
exactly. So think about literally blinding yourself and seeing something completely different always. So once you take it off, you're seeing it's
I remember the name of it, by the way.
What is it?
With the club every Friday, and they still run it every Friday. With an actual DJ, High Fidelity.
High Fidelity.
So they're opening up a shopping center in it soon, but they've got the town and everything up to scratch. And you can go to an avatar mall and just pick an avatar at the moment. It's not littered with all of the kids that you get on VR.
It's free.
And it's not littered with all the kids that you get on VR chat. And almost 95% of people on there are using a virtual reality headset, because I don't think you can have as much fun without one on that game. But yeah, the DJ night on Fridays is amazing. Like, who needs to go out on Fridays anymore?
Yeah, right?
Like, head down to the club and like meet you guys who are across the world in this club and have a little boogie.
You have to pay a $20
cool.
cover or anything.
Yeah. And he's so hyped. This DJ's brilliant.
So how much can I pay in microtransactions to actually get good dance moves?
You don't pay anything in microtransactions at the moment. There is no.
So am I going to be stuck with my own dance moves?
Yeah, if you're in VR, you're dancing. Shoot. But I'm telling you, it gets hyped up. You could,
There's now technology, from what I've heard. Again, don't quote me, but I do know that I don't know if it's the Oculus or the Vive, but now they have feet tracking. Not like this, where
That's a.
There's stuff. I don't know what it's called. There's something that is like a belt and you can walk. It's in different conventions. Those are extremely expensive. But there's a sensor now that is, I believe, on HTC or on Oculus, where it captures your feet movement, so you can dance. Or when you lift up your leg, it lifts up the leg. I don't know what it is, but I want to be looking into that.
I feel like that's like the next level, right?
Yeah.
It's like something that's affordable, not too crazy, where you can simulate movement in place though, like so you don't need a ton more space, but something to pick up leg movement. I think
Big Bigs did say that it does have it.
Yeah, you can. You just need extra sensors, and if you've got the extra sensors, which the Vives come out with special sensors that aren't remote controls now, and they do the same thing. However, put them like strap them wherever. So people
Oh,
in
cool.
VR chat have already done this. They've actually
Oh,
gone in VR chat with leg sensors, and you'll find that they move slightly differently because they're actually moving their legs.
Huh.
So yeah, you can do that. You can.
Okay.
And even if it wasn't for their sensors, I know that there are other things that you can link to the VR programs that would work on both the Oculus and the Vive.
Huh.
Like made by other companies, sort of thing, that you can link to it.
Okay. So in terms of like streaming VR, in today's like, do you think VR is something that's like viable to be like, oh, like I'm a VR streamer, I just play VR games, or like, do you find that a lot of the like it's kind of hard to gain discoverability because like there's a lot of VR games but they don't have like a lot of traction? Like, what's the space like for streaming?
With VR, it's with any VR game, yeah, unless it's a game that's also can be played without VR, you ain't going to get a lot of traffic.
Currently.
Currently, yes, it is purely your social media, your following are going to be there, and then the odd person who goes, hey, let's find out what's happening in this game, or I've heard of this and I want to get a VR, let's check this out. But it's very, very, very few and far between. It's kind of like I would say, my personal opinion, there's a virtual reality category. So if you find that you're playing a virtual reality game and you want more people to be able to see it, go in virtual reality instead of in that particular game, because I said, not a lot of people are playing
Interesting.
that one game.
Kind of like
That's
retro.
definitely
Instead
good,
of
yeah.
like the right game, do retro. Okay.
Yeah.
Basically.
So that exists now.
That exists
category?
at the moment. Yes, virtual reality.
That's a cool pro tip. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Very good.
More people do it.
Yes.
Join the virtual reality category.
Is it viable? Yes, to an extent, and I will tell you why. A lot of people will be like, is it worth $500 to purchase the older version of the Vive or an Oculus, or get the HTC Vive Pro, which is now $600, or I believe that's the price. Yes. Depending on what you're looking for, like, it's kind of like for anything and anybody. If I would honestly say, before you go in and purchase, research, just like you would do for anything. If you have any friends, or if you know anyone that has a Vive, or if you can go to any conventions, and there's a bunch of testing stations for Oculus and Vive where they allow you to play the game, see if it's something that you will like, see if it gets you sick, see if you're interested in it. If then, that's when you go further. There's even, I know DJ Knight, one of my friends, he went to like a Microsoft store right next to his house or something like that, and they had an HTC Vive or whatever, an Oculus that was able to be tested. Like, there's stores out there that may have them that you can test it out, rather than just, all right, let's go on a whim, spend $500. Oh no.
Yeah, and then find out that you can't use it, you can't run it, something. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of running, there's something that's really cool that a lot of you can do. If you have Steam, it's free. You can download it now. It is Steam VR, and there's a Steam VR test. You can actually test your computer to see if your computer's ready for VR. If it is, bada bing, bada boom, you can put it in, and it's good to go. That is something that I noticed that helped out a lot. You wanted to download that for sure. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, that's a really good one, because if you can't run it as well, it usually tells you what you need, or what it is you need to upgrade in order to run it. There's awesome. Quite a few free games that are amazing. I'm trying to find the one that trolled me massively, and
let me know. Give me some.
I gotta say, like, being an outsider of the VR world, like, I assumed that, it was just crappy graphics, not really many games. Like, I thought it was like super premature, and like, just like launching the Rift and like the tutorial that they had, I was just blown away by like how real it looked, and like it was so cool. Like, I gotta say, like I thought it was like, okay, we'll wait a few years and maybe it'll get there, but it's like, it's there. Like, it's really impressive what they have now.
No, you're more than correct. That I cannot wait for more games to come out, because literally it's going to bring people to get it more. Like, Beat Saber is the one, like how Cyborg was stating, that's the one that's in the media that's getting people to go into VR. But there's a bunch of VR games that are freaking fantastic. And there's a bunch of games that you probably already own that is VR capable. Even Subnautica is capable with VR, which is so cool. I can't wait. I hope
Yeah.
No Man's Sky does that too, because it has the same
Oh,
capabilities.
that's gonna be amazing.
So I'm
That would be great.
just literally any game today can just add VR capabilities if they were to work on that. It is possible.
Valence Strike brought up a good point too. One that I think probably all of us have considered at one point or another. Not being afflicted by some of these issues ourselves, but VR opens up so many opportunities for people who are homebound, people who have a variety of anxieties and disorders, who have physical disabilities that prevent them from going out or having certain experiences. VR, as it becomes more affordable too, opens up a giant door for that. That is really exciting, especially as things become more and more affordable as time goes on. Presumably, that was actually another question I was interested if you guys had any feedback on. I think we covered it a little bit. Hardware wise, as we move into the future, are we expecting headsets and it seems like the requirements for your PC are pretty easy, but are headsets going to get cheaper, do you expect, or are they going to kind of like ride that wave of like right between $0 and $1,000?
I believe, in all honesty, it's going to get cheaper. The Vive just went down
$100.
It just went down $100 for the normal Vive for the Pro. So I think after that, the normal Vive will be $300, Pro will be $400 or whatever, and then something will be $500. It's going to keep going down the list as more come out. This is brand new still. It is just starting. What is it? VR's in its first 5 years.
Yeah,
I'm guessing for selling.
I'd say less than that. I'd say first 3 years.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, not properly. Like to be out properly the way it is now, I'd say 3 years max. It's been so it's very new still. But I would say that Beat Saber definitely shouldn't be the game that you think of when you think of VR. That's the one that's getting it more mainstream. But I think if you're going to think of a game while thinking of VR and thinking, wow, the possibilities, Beat Saber doesn't show the possibilities. It shows what you can do, which is really fun and really easy. I would say
something that I did not state as well.
The gallery.
The gallery?
Sorry, saying the gallery. That is, if you like Harry Potter, or if you like to be in a story where you feel like you are a character in the story, the gallery is what you want to play. I can't stop smiling when I say this because it's so
really. So you become in the story.
I felt like I had powers, and I felt like it wasn't like I'm gonna walk about and find out what's going on. The whole thing was a story. I went from place to place, and the whole game sort of interacted with me. But I felt like I was the main character in this story, and the graphics in this game is insane. Like there were puzzles that you had to work out to open certain doors, but it was just the way that they did it, and just the graphics in general, and the way everything interacted was absolutely stunning. I was mind blown by that.
What is it called?
The Gallery.
There's 2 episodes out at the moment. I'm waiting for the next episode because I can't wait to find out what happens. The other characters interact with you as well. So there's certain things, like there's one where I meet an old man who's meant to get me across a bridge, but there's something broken, and he's like, "Can you just throw me one of those bulbs, please?" And I'm like, "There's a bulb. Okay, throw him the bulb." And every time I threw him, he said, "I'm gonna throw you something." That was it, and I had to put it in. And every time he threw me a bulb, I had to catch it, but I kept dropping it, and it kept smashing. And then he was like, "Can you just catch the bloody bulb and put the bulb in there? Otherwise the bridge isn't going to come down," sort of thing. But the way that they interact, it's like you're actually there. Like you're there for a part in this play, and he's just said his piece and you're screwing up. So sort it out, sort of thing. I don't know. I just don't know how to explain it aside from you have to play that game. I can't wait for episode 3 because it's left on a cliffhanger. On a cliffhanger. The first episode was a cliffhanger, and then the second one, I'm like, no. Why?
See, that little interactivity through VR sounds so fantastic. Like all of your favorite shows that you've enjoyed over the last decade. Imagine some of the best ones being playable, like as a brand new experience where you're involved, you are the character. Oh man. That sounds amazing.
Just like change the endings of like everything you didn't like about something. Like
replay
it. Like
That's the troll game that I was talking about, by the way. It's free and it's called Accounting. It's made by some of the same people who make Rick and Morty. So expect to be trolled, expect to be shouted at, and expect just
Oh goodness.
Really?
everything's good. Like I was laughing hysterically, and then there was times where I was like telling the character in the game to shut up and stop screaming at me because I couldn't do something they were asking me to do. It's hilarious. I can't wait to tune in and watch you guys.
These characters look
play that.
crazy.
But yeah,
Accounting.
accounting. You are an accountant, but everything. I won't give it away. You're an accountant.
Oh boy.
You're an accountant, but no spoilers.
That's it.
That's it.
And yeah, Rick and Morty directed it. It's got some of the voices in it. It's brilliant. It's
But you have
With
to.
brilliant.
With Rick and Morty, like I was gonna buy it, and then it was like, oh, it doesn't look like you have enough space. So I was like, I don't know if I like. Do you feel like you have to move around a lot of that game?
Yeah.
No.
You just need that square spot or whatever, because it's literally you're in a square and you teleport with that point and click.
Okay.
Yeah. Some games don't have room scale though. Some games don't have standing. They only have room scale. So beware of that when you're buying games. However, I've literally got till where my hand goes. So like literally there. I don't have minimum size, and I make do with it. I think it's because I'm so freaking petite. It's easier for me to deal with this space. But I also use a program called Advanced Settings, which is and again, I don't know if this is going to work for the Oculus, but for the Vive, there's a plugin which gives you extra settings. And when you find that you can't reach something because it's room scale only, but you just ain't got that room, you can virtually move yourself closer to it. It's hard to explain, but you virtually move the world. I guess you kind of virtually move the world so it's closer to you in advanced settings, so you can actually grab that and then you can go back to where you were.
I've had that issue before where in room scale, like in Rick and Morty, one of the parts were super far, and I'm like, how the hell do you want me to grab that? And I was like on my wall, like trying to grab it, and I was like, ugh.
Objects in VR are closer than they appear.
So that it was funny on that, but also something to notice. I did check out Accounting. Some games are only for HTC, and some games are only for Oculus.
Oh, interesting.
I was going to ask about that.
Accounting is only for HTC, sadly.
Oh, I didn't know it was only for that, but yeah, I know that some of them
that out then.
Some of them are.
How common do you think that is that some are like console exclusive?
Not that often, but for the big titles, yes. However, with the Vive, I will point out that anything on the Oculus can actually be played on the Vive via a program. So I can specifically go and buy my copy. So I've actually bought a copy of the game. For instance, Lone Echo. There was no way I was not going to play Lone Echo on the Oculus. And if you haven't played that yet, you need to play it Lowco because it's
okay. It's on my list.
But if you download a program called Revive, you will be able to play any Oculus game through the Oculus store. You just purchase it like a normal game, so you're still paying them for it, and then you're just putting it through your headset. And Lone Echo is just amazing. It's done in space. There's zero gravity, so you play it sitting down on like a swivel chair or something like that, and you literally just make sure your feet ain't touching the floor, and you literally feel like you are in zero gravity.
Wow!
Like
that's awesome.
That sounds cool.
And yeah. And as I was pushing myself off of one wall, my character was floating and I had to kind of catch somewhere else. And then if I wanted to travel to places, you'd like reach out and sort of like, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but you feel like you're actually there. It's just, that was an amazing game.
Okay, question then. Is it going to be Lone Loco or Loco Echo? Or just Loco, maybe.
Loco.
Just get the game title out of there altogether.
You're like, what are you playing?
Loco. Play on my name, get it?
The Lone Echo is a story game as well, so it's not just an experience. That's a story game in itself, and an amazing one at that. The characters again interact with you like you're a main character. There are also dinosaur experiences in VR. So you've got Arc Park, which I would say didn't really do a good job of it. But then you've also got Islands 359, which is It's currently in the making. Daniel's just seen something.
I'm so sorry. I'm watching Lone Echo right now. I had never seen this. How do you get this to work on your Vive? I need to play this now.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's called Revive. You use it for a program called Revive. It's quite an expensive game. I think it's like £35 or something like that at the moment. But it's brilliant. It's well worth the money. And there's an online version where you can sort of compete with other players in like I don't know exactly how it works. I've only done the story mode, but a lot of people have said that's one of the best things that have come to VR. But yeah, like you've got Island 359, which I recently played as well. And the first part of that game during the tutorial, where it's like, drop me off in a helicopter. So I've just came out of a helicopter and it's gone, right, there's your knife, there's your backpack, put your backpack on. So you literally just put a backpack on and that's it. If you want your backpack, you just reach behind your back, grab it, and your backpack comes out so you can put more stuff in it. And they've gone, right, okay, this, and this. And as I've gone round and the helicopter's waiting there, all of a sudden they've gone, oh no, we've got to go. And the helicopter's gone to take off and this T-Rex has come past. And I know for a fact, so I'm in the game, the T-Rex can't see me. This is that cutscene, not mine, but it's because it's in the same world as me. I start ducking behind this virtual box. Like I was legit going, oh my gosh. And it like grabs the helicopter and smashed the helicopter on the floor. And I was just terrified. And for a second, I looked like an absolute idiot to anyone who could just see the webcam.
Just streaking
the game. Yeah, I was just like hiding, like, but you get sucked into it.
Which game is this?
That's Island 359. It's still not fully made fully yet, but it's kind of like a survival game.
I was gonna say survival simulator.
I'd be all about 359.
Well, you guys, yeah, but that's a survival game where you run around, you find weapons. You might have raptors come after you. You can't go in certain areas because if the raptors see you, that's it, you're screwed. And I kind of got sick of it because I kept getting attacked by raptors and they scared the crap out of me because they're huge as well. And you've also got games because you were saying about No Man's Sky, right? Games like No Man's Sky. There's a game like that already, kind of, on the Vive. I don't know if it's on the Oculus, but it came out recently and it's called Seeking Dawn and you can play it with your mates. But I've got no one on there to play it with, so if you guys want to link up at all in the game, I think it's cross-platform.
So you can play with people on the Rift and vice versa?
I think through Seeking Dawn, I'm pretty sure I heard that it's cross-platform Seeking Dawn, but I played Seeking Dawn and the only reason I couldn't continue playing on my own is because the mobs got really hard, so you needed somebody else there to help you. And they have huge spiders. And I was staying away from those areas. Yeah, they don't jump at you, but you'll go to walk down somewhere and you'll be like, I can see how big that thing is, and I am not going anywhere near that area.
In VR?
So, no.
I'm looking at this. It is graphically beautiful. Like, holy moly.
Which one?
The Seeking Dawn that she's speaking of?
Yeah.
Thank you. Now we might have to play together.
I want you to all note down Paranormal Activity, though.
Nope.
I wrote that.
No.
So I'd be interested in that one. And what was it called? The one with the doll.
Emily
wants to play. Good luck with that. I won't.
I don't know which direction I would go, but I think I would force myself to make it comedic. I think that's the only way I'd be able to get through it. And that would somehow be fun, right? I'd be like, oh, come here. Oh, she wants to come here. Do that whole role play for it.
Chance. You'd hear
you just already
really creepy noise. And then, before you know it, you haven't had no, with Emily wants to play. No. By the time you see the doll, it's too late.
Living it in your head.
Yeah, I played it for a few minutes and I was like, there is no way I'm going back in there. Another one is raw data.
I've heard of this one.
British accent. Raw data.
You said right.
That's scary.
Resident Evil VR. I actually wouldn't play that. That's only on the PSVR. I've just read that in the chat, and I wouldn't actually play that because that would be terrifying. I found that ridiculously scary. Just playing normally.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could play that.
I'm not about the scary. I can't do scary games on my computer. I could not immerse myself in a scary game. That's not for me. That's not me.
It's good though because it doesn't necessarily have stuff jumping at you.
Paranormal Activity is like my all-time most scariest movie that I've seen.
What?
Like, I'm
I'm
don't
gonna
like that
have
kind
to
of
show
stuff.
you some scary films.
No, I don't like that kind of stuff.
No.
I can't.
No, it's
Yeah.
scary me.
Yeah, my first horror game I actually ever played was Atlas, and the only reason I was able to play it is when I first started streaming,
Atlas?
I had people watching my stream, and I think without streaming, I wouldn't have been able to ever touch a scary
I
game.
wouldn't even bother.
Yeah, I couldn't. I can't sit in a room and watch a scary movie or play a scary game if there's just no one there. If there's a stream, it's okay because it's like, all right, there's people making.
I only play because people want me to play, not because I want to play. I
Yep.
don't
Yeah.
who does
It's
that?
not-
What's
it's
wrong with you
entertainment
guys?
Value. Like you're doing it for them. Look, see how much we sacrifice for you guys. Literally need brown pants, but we'll do it for your entertainment.
If you guys have any questions, by the way, for us, we are more than happy to take your questions in the last little bit of the stream here. So, any questions about VR streaming at all, please ask. You've got experts here to answer.
Now is the time.
I want to go play Seeking Dawn now. Like, I just look at that.
That sounds.
Have you seen
I've
it?
been so immersed in NMS.
No.
Now
I need a
want
buddy
this.
on there. I definitely need a buddy on there, but check
It
it
looks
out.
good.
See what you think. Yeah. It's brilliant.
My
But
Steam
you
isn't
also
working.
like you harvest materials from stuff as well, kind of like you do in No Man's Sky. So
What?
it's like, yeah, and then you make stuff, and then you get like your own little den, and you have to make new guns, and you have to make ammo.
You can dance in the game? See, that's when you win me over. When you can dance, that's awesome. Don't you want to dance in a game? Let me give you some experience of me in VR. All right, people can't take the demon in VR. They I guess they I'm just myself in VR, and they're like, whoa, this guy needs to tone it down because they can mute you. Everyone mutes me. They're like, do. I'm just like, you just see me coming over them, just like you see my head moving and everything, and I'm just like, what's up, guys?
I have seen you IRL do some DDR. Seeing you in VR getting down on that with like no restrictions, that would be beautiful.
It's awesome, man. It's I can definitely state again for anyone that is interested in it, I would say definitely do it. It is worth it. The games that are coming out, I'm just finding out about all these games that are much better than I could ever expect it. Like this one, The Seeking Dawn, like what the flip? I can't wait to try that out. Like that, like I like graphically beautiful games, and this one and how like VR is going is getting.
I'm definitely smelling an upcoming sellout stream for me. Because I'm gonna have
Hunter, please just try it here, man. Just come on over, test it out.
Oh, that's
you can literally.
That's right. I could literally.
Hunter.
Dude, just give me a scheduled day and just be like, all right, I promise you, it's all nice and clean.
I can test it out with ease.
So we do have a couple questions. Second, Paleon asks, missed part of the segment, so I may discuss how do streamers deal with / engage chat while on VR. I think it's called Open VR. There's one called OBN VR.
Open VR Chat is the plugin, I believe. Open VR Chat. It can be a little bit fiddly, but that's the one on oh god, what's it on?
Oh, OVR Drop is another one that I was
OVR Drop, yeah. OVR Drop is one of the ones that I use. That one's not free.
Oh.
Not free. I don't believe it is unless it's changed.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that one's not changed. It's
I
not
may have
free,
just bought it.
That one's good. That one is good.
That one actually shows you the Twitch chat. It looks like a Twitch chat rather than just like a blank. That's the problem that I have with the one that I gotten from Gunrun, the streaming VR with Twitch chat. It has, I don't know if I can, do I get a link? No. I gotta get a permission.
I got you.
The permission.
Oh, that's right, because it wouldn't let us.
It wouldn't mod. I know. You're an invalid user.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Open VR Twitch chat. Yeah. That's the first one.
So yeah, that's the one that it works. That's the one I'm using now. It works perfectly. It's exactly that purple look. If you look at the last page, that's how it looks. It doesn't actually look how like a Twitch chat would. I've seen people with the ones that look like a Twitch chat, and I'm guessing that's the
I want that. That's gonna be comforting to me. That's gonna feel like home if I can see Twitch chat. That's what I look at all day, every day.
All right, so it's Overdrive. And okay. I'm gonna look at that.
OVR Drop. But it's like I said,
yeah.
that's not the free one. That's the one that's like £11 or something like that in the UK. So
So then Handsome Stolen asks, so if any game as an Oculus exclusive can be played on the Vive through Revive, why would you buy an Oculus? That is a good point. I didn't know you could do that. I don't know if that's legal. Is it that
It
legal?
is if you buy the physical copy of the game, you're technically using your own hardware, but you've bought a physical copy. Kind of like if you bought a VHS and then you put it on a DVD because you don't use a VHS anymore, you're still allowed the DVD copy because you own the VHS. Does that make
For
sense?
your own purposes.
So I know I've bought that physical copy of the game. Streaming wise, I don't know. And that's why I have one. So yeah. So I don't know if I could stream it on the Vive, but I can personally play it myself.
I would imagine that it would work the same way as emulators and such, where the hard rule is that you have to own, for it to be legal, is you have to own the copy of the game, and then you can emulate it and stream it, and you're good to go. Same thing that you're talking about is own the copy.
Yeah.
Should be good.
Cool. Yeah, and I'm hoping
because if you think about it, there's other people that create their own controllers and stuff like that, and that's kind of tampering with the consoles or whatever. But they own the game, they own the console.
Yeah, as long as you physically bought the game, you're not like downloading an illegal copy or anything like that. You're fine, I think. But like you said, if it's the same as the emulators, then I'm totally getting onto Lowco.
I would imagine.
I wow, and I'm guessing the Revive is something that you would have to look up online.
Yeah, if you just research into Revive, I don't have the exact website. There's instructions on how to download it. It basically goes into your Vive folders, and when you open up the Vive and you bring up the menu button, you know, when you've got Steam and stuff, and you've got like Exit VR or whatever, it comes up as one of the little circle buttons.
That's awesome. So it's a little thing integrated with it.
I'm just thinking, actually, wait. There's two. The circle button is the advanced settings. There's so many things. Advanced settings, that comes up as an extra button. The Revive, if I remember correctly, that comes up as an icon on your on your taskbar, and you just click inject game into so you basically select it on your desktop, then it comes up.
Gotcha.
On your,
Okay.
Cool.
Valence asked, what are the different movement mechanisms that the different games use to offset the nausea?
I have seen a couple of things, but I don't have an answer myself.
It's like Daniel was saying, it's kind of like the point and click. They've also got the snap turn. So instead of turning smoothly, you press the turn and it snaps to a different angle.
To a direction.
So you don't feel the nausea of or feel any sick feeling from the motion of turning when you're not actually turning. And I think that's the thing that gets you more than anything with motion sickness, is when you're turning and you're not actually turning yourself. That can really, really hit you.
Yeah. That's helpful to reorient yourself in that direction completely versus just looking.
It's almost, if anybody has ever played PUBG or H1Z1 where you're running, but you can press Alt and look to the side and stuff, think of that in first person, but you're the person doing that. That's how it is sometimes, and that can get people motion sickness, so where you're running forward, but you're able to see everything else and stuff like that. I don't know.
That would be disorienting a little bit.
Well, I've also found that another way that you can stop yourself getting sick is, I know it sounds silly, but if you just slightly move your legs like you're walking, like you're pretending to walk as you're walking in a game, just as you start out, that actually stops you from feeling as sick. When you feel really nauseous very quickly, just try even if you just go on your tiptoes on each foot, just sort of simulate walking, your brain kind of goes, I'm moving, it's fine. So
get a little bit of calf workout while you're at it too.
Before we do get out of here, I wanted to definitely dive into this, because there's something that I know we didn't probably cover, is issues that could be that could appear during your gameplay or whatever. There's a lot of different issues that I've had with the Vive. One, when I tried like a one PC setup, that's why I asked Cyborg, does she do one PC or not? She probably has a beast old computer, like much better than I do. Like, holy crap, because I have, or I had my 2 cameras. I had my mixer, which is plugged in via USB 3.0, and I had the HTC Vive hooked up, which this is all acquiring power. HTC, when I was playing games and I was streaming, everything was working fine. And then out of nowhere, my camera, I'm looking straight, the HTC Vive camera looks down and then goes completely gray. And it makes me feel a little sick because I'm looking and it tilts and then goes gray. I found out the problem being was because I was not getting enough power to the HTC Vive through my computer. Like, even though it has its own, like, the headset was not getting enough power from the computer.
The USB power running to it wasn't enough because you were overloading USBs. Yeah, I still have that problem. But instead of it doing that, I have a problem where if I'm in the Vive, and it still happens to this day, so everything runs smoothly now. I've got it to a point where I've got no problems. But if I try typing in the chat, or if I've already turned on my Vive and I'm like sorting out the tweet for going live and everything's still already on, and I try typing, it types at like, I don't know, 10 seconds slower than when you press the key. So you're trying to type a tweet to go live while you've got your VR set up and everything running and ready to go, and the stream's live and it's ready on starting soon screen, and it's like, crap, I can't type now.
You most likely would have a better time with this 2 PC setup in the future. Once I switched to 2 PC, I have never had that issue ever again.
Divide that work.
So something for those that are going to get into it and want to broadcast, if you do get that gray screen or if any kind of bogging issues, it probably could be your power from the USB.
Yeah, you're gonna have to like spread out your USB like inputs.
Yeah, power and data both.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No, the USB cable is not required for the controllers because the controllers are wireless. So there's nothing to be able to connect. The only time you would ever
if it was
the only time you want to connect your wired or your controllers to be wired is to update the software on it,
or firmware or something.
Firmware. Excuse me.
Big asks, I have an issue with OpenVR chat while playing certain games. How do I remedy that? Have you guys encountered using OpenVR and getting issues with it not working?
It used to crash on me. That's the one that used to crash quite a bit. It depends on the game. If your PC suddenly like hitting max limit, you will find that certain programs will just die on you, and I found that VR chat was one of the ones that died. So maybe if you're finding that everything's sort of starting to bottleneck, that might be the reason as to why it suddenly goes boop and it's just not working. And you don't realize because you're looking at the chat for ages going, oh, no one spoke for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No one's there anymore. And then you take off the Vive headset and it's like, oh, okay, that broke. I've been looking at the same chat for like 10 minutes and it wasn't actually what's actually happening. I wasn't ignoring anyone sort of thing. So yeah, that can happen. You just got to
Carly asked a good question. Do you think that VR streaming is starting to become a more viable option for content creators? So you do think that VR streaming is becoming more viable, but what about creative VR streams? Do you know if creative has much of a chance for VR streams?
Definitely. I think
it's just not many people are doing it.
No, not many people are doing it. We need more creative people to go, I'm going to do some stuff in VR, because there are some amazing apps that you can use on there and programs that you can use on there, even in mixed reality, so they can actually see you physically create it. You're like sick. Painting. But like, it's just the possibilities are endless, but there's not enough creative people who have gone, let's buy a VR, because you don't think of it.
Yeah.
For someone that didn't know anything about VR, Hunter, and literally just stated you can even draw and stuff on it and be creative. He knew about that. How did you know about that? Probably you saw a video that was really somebody doing a fantastic drawing or something out of it.
Yep.
That's
exactly how I saw it.
It's again, if you can make art in there, it can get big and viral if you do it well. The only places I've ever seen it is on YouTube because nobody's doing it on Twitch. If you were to do it on Twitch, it will get big. It just
no one's doing it.
That's all I'm saying.
There's a gap in the market. Do it.
All right, I'm on it.
No, I like the idea a lot. Like, I mean, we just talked about creative streaming like last week. Like that's
Yep.
Creative VR streaming, like That sounds awesome.
And
like,
honestly,
you don't need
if
to
you-
like have a good setup, right? Like, you don't need to have like the desk and good like camera setup, right? Like, it's all virtual, so it's a lot of room
You don't
there.
even have to show your face. Just put on some classical, nice music and just, yes, how are you doing today? I'm here and I'm doing some, I don't
The
know.
3D painting where it's like,
Yeah.
sculpting.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That
Yeah,
one.
that'd
What
be
is it
something,
called?
I don't
Um,
remember.
It's called oh, I can't remember the name
It's
of it. I've got
not on
so
the Steam
dark
store, I
game.
don't think.
Yeah, no, it is. It is on the Steam store now.
Oh,
Tilt
now it is?
brush.
Okay. What brush?
Tilt
Tilt
brush.
Yes, Tilt Brush. And you
Yes.
can actually play Tilt Brush, like I say, MR, so mixed reality. You can actually see them with their hand on the freaking paintbrush, sculpting this or like
I want to watch that.
whatever. Yeah, it's amazing. You can actually go in Tilt Brush, and if you don't want to do anything yourself, you can load up something somebody else has made and see the way that they made it. So do like a time lapse and see exactly how they made it, and it just draws it in front of you like this huge sculpture.
Oh,
Amazing.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Mr. Artist over here, Mr. Hunter is an artist. So I
Yeah.
can see him going ham on that and doing some abstract art.
Oh, I would love that. Yep,
Tilt
I'm
brush.
doing this.
If you typed in even just YouTube Tilt Brush mixed reality, you can see like the possibilities of just you being part of it and connected to it as well.
See, that's the thing. I can't wait till people say, I want to search Twitch for that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, that's the thing that's
It's
not
gonna
there yet.
grow. It's
Oh, for
like
sure.
it's definitely like a new form of it is like like the future, like for games and life and everything. I don't know, like it's gonna grow for sure.
Yep.
I'm glad you think so. I'm glad you think so, because a lot of people
It's-
that
yeah.
don't have it are like, are you sure it's... But every person that has
Dude.
a VR are like,
It's
worth it.
so impressive what's already available.
Yeah.
And like I heard like the HTC Pro is like the image resolution is like 88% better or something ridiculous.
Yeah,
like,
I was just looking at that. It's like 37% increase, 78% pixel increase. Yeah, it's like almost 80%.
yeah.
37% PPI increase.
and the HTC Vive and Oculus itself is not bad at all. Like, when you use it, the normal like standard versions, I have the standard version. I'm having fun. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Like, I
Like
have no
I'm
problem.
impressed with it. Our last question comes from BD, who asks, "How have any of the streamers tried the wireless adapter for Oculus Revive?"
No, but
didn't
I'm
even know
just
there
about
was-
to.
Really?
Well, not just about to, but I'm getting one very, very soon. So yeah, as soon as it is available, I'll be getting one and being able to test it.
What did you say? A what?
A wireless. Yes, a wireless
So how does that-
adapter for the Vive, meaning that there is no wire going from your headset.
I want
Oh
that.
yeah.
Are you serious? Do we have to buy a whole new website?
No, webset, headset, you mean?
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Excited. He's so excited you can't word. Yeah, no, you don't have to. No.
So you don't even have to buy the freaking
No,
roof thing.
You buy an adapter and it just adapts the whole thing. Kind of like there's already an adapter out. There was already an adapter made for the Vive and for the Oculus to make it all wireless. But it's you buy it from, I think it was made in China or Japan or something like that, and it's really complicated to set up. So I was kind of like, I'm gonna wait, and they're coming out with one soon.
You're gonna have to let us know how it ends up being, because I already broke a glass on my ground from the wire,
Yep.
so I would like to get rid of the wire.
The wire is nothing. Try playing a drunken bar fight, and you'll smash up your whole room. There's a
That-
game called Drunken Bar.
Solo drunken bar fight.
Yeah. There's a game
Sounds
called
like my kind of
Drunken Bar Fight,
Thursday.
and you are literally in a bar, and somebody starts a fight with you, and you start picking up stuff and smashing them with it. And because I'm 5 foot, and that's it, I'm just 5 foot. I'm looking up at these people trying to start a fight at me, and I ended up punching so many things in my room because I'm so into it. I'm like, yeah, come on then. When I came out of it, I had bruised hands, and everything was like there were broken things, and I was just like, I look like I've actually been in a fight.
Wow.
Yeah. That's brilliant. Drunken bar fights, so fun. It's so fun.
Drunken bar fights?
There's drunken bar fight. There are some hilarious clips of me in drunken bar fight, like where I've just started like just going mental when I've got 5
I'm gonna have to
people.
stalk. Like, do you have a YouTube?
Me, I
I'm
don't
gonna
have it.
stalk these videos.
I've got a YouTube, but I haven't posted a lot on there yet. I am yet to post Drunken Bar Fight on there, but it is on my Twitch.
Post it.
My Twitch clips.
I want to see.
Oh, what Drunken Bar Fight? Let me see if I can find the hilarious one.
Oh my! You literally just go up to people, start punching them. This is my type of game. I just want to go up to them and be like, "Hey, man, you're quite ugly." Bam!
So this is real people?
Yeah. No, they're not real people. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that'd be so
that
cool. You
would
could
be
fight like me versus Lowco, super
right?
drunk.
Like
our
you
characters.
hear them talk smack. Like
Oh my god! You just have like preset options on there. That would be great. You can only
the ragdoll on it.
There's like a little conversation, and then you just brawl. Like, no, your hair's poopy.
Dude, this is insane.
It's hilarious, honestly. It's like a really, really good game. I'm trying to find a really good. Does it show you the perspective as well and what you see? Because there's a different way you can show that game as well. I'm trying to find.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
I'm just looking at the Steam like.
Oh no,
Steam
there's a
trailer.
different. So like they can see your character, and when your character gets knocked out in the game, you have to pick him up. You have to try and get him on his feet again before like the time runs out. Otherwise, you are like downed and that's it. But you'll like struggle to get this drunk guy off the floor. That's just got knocked up, and as soon as you get him up, you're him again. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Like you're trying to pick him up any way
The
you can.
spirit of a drunk man, and you're trying to
you're, like,
get him back
shouting
up.
at him. Yeah.
What's that boxing game? Is it TV boxing?
TV boxing. I've not heard of that one.
Boxing. I don't know. There was one that I heard was like a really good workout. That was a boxing VR game.
VR? Oh, Bad News.
Yeah, that's which
that
one's the one that he was playing? What was it called?
I don't know, but that looked neat. Like you're like dodging. You're like you got to hit uppercuts in all these different angles. It looked like real intense workout. I've seen a couple people do that, just drenched in sweat. Yeah, so working out with VR is also sounds really cool, and it looks really cool.
Oh, I found the link, so you can see the sort of perspective for Drunken Bar Fight. Let me just see if this is the right one.
Box
so you
VR.
Can change it so they don't see what you see, so they don't get motion sick with this one. They actually see. It's hilarious. Let me just post it. That's the clip.
I'm ready.
And that's the
Yeah, Box VR is the one.
hilarious. I just
Dude, what
goes down.
is this?
I start going.
The
You can see this little
characters.
scrawny character that's me.
Oh my
Because
What?
Are you throwing people at other people?
He just kicked
You're
you.
grabbing people by the butt
my
and
God.
I
throwing.
found out I could pick him up, and I was just like, yeah.
Oh, I gotta play that.
It's hilarious. It's so good. But the good thing is that perspective, it gives you that in the game. You don't have to set it up. You just press a button and it switches to that view. So then you can put the camera anywhere you want in the virtual world. Obviously, you're not linked to it, so they can just see your webcam over it. But they're not seeing it from your point of view, so they're not getting sick of your movement. And they can kind of see how you're ducking out of the way and punching people, and that's funny.
That's amazing.
And seeing what you're grabbing
That's awesome.
behind you, yeah.
That's hilarious. All right, so that's gonna wrap it up for today. Let's do some shout outs.
Great show.
Guys, thank you guys so much. Daniel, Cyborg, thank you guys
thank
for
you.
the
Awesome.
knowledge bombs today. I'm like more and more excited. I just want to end the stream and like immerse myself back in the virtual
Paranormal
world.
activity.
Yeah, I'm now
Nope.
fully convinced I'm going to get VR.
You're coming over? You're
Yeah.
gonna play? You're coming right now?
Yeah, well, I mean, yes. I'll see you in 20 minutes.
Daniel, tell us where we can find you on the interwebs.
You can find me anywhere by searching DanieltheDemon, and you will surely be able to find me. But if you would like to, twitch.tv/DanieltheDemon. Same thing for Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all that cool stuff. Thank you so much for having me here.
It's our pleasure, man.
Awesome.
And
Yeah.
so that's not Daniel the Demon TV or anything. It's just Daniel the Demon everywhere.
Just
You got
Daniel
it?
the Demon
Lucky
You're secured?
you.
The
You're like
only
the
place
person we've had on who's actually gotten their name everywhere.
the only place
Lucky.
is like Snapchat is the only other place I don't have Daniel Demon. But I don't
Ooh,
use it. That's it.
Okay.
But everything else I have it. So
What about
oh,
you?
and PSN.
Cyborg Angel?
PSN I don't have it.
For me, you can find me anywhere with CyborgAngel, or on the only two platforms I don't have CyborgAngel on is Twitter and Instagram. It's 2 L's on the end, so it's CyborgAngel with 2 L's. But everything else is just CyborgAngel, and I stream a ton of stuff. All the new releases with Capcom, PlayStation, a load of variety stuff, including a ton of VR, as you guys already know now.
And starting up tomorrow, you've got...
So tomorrow I've actually got Monster Hunter World on PC, which I'm going to be doing the exclusive gameplay of before the release, which is on the 9th. So
that's super exciting.
Tomorrow, nice and early.
Nice.
2 days early. Flip.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Hunter?
I've got jealousies for that one. I'm going to be doing Monster Hunter World. I think we're doing 5 days in a row of 12-hour streams on that one, starting on the launch day, 2 days late if we're on CyborgAngel time. You guys can find me as TheHunterWild on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheHunterWild, but HunterWild TV on Twitter. That's my primary social media platform. It's got the TV at the end until I can kick that part off. It's just 2 letters. I want to get them gone. But you can also follow on Instagram at TheHunterWild. That's just a full scale, full name. Maybe one day I'll just go with Hunter. I'll see if I can get that everywhere. I'll be Ninja Junior the 15th Esquire.
Just Hunter.
Yeah, just Hunter. What about you, Lowco?
I am Lowco. You can find me at twitter.com/Lowco2525. I got a lot of numbers there. Twitch.tv/Lowco, and I have been playing Beat Saber. I played Beat Saber for the first time today. I'm going to do some more on Wednesday, I think, so long as I'm not too sore. Tomorrow I'll actually be over on the Q4TC channel, raising money for 10 awesome charities and the TwitchCon Charity Plaza, so I'll be there tomorrow. And I'm also playing a lot of Rend and We Happy Few this week, too, so... lots of games, and I also run Streamer Square, so if you guys enjoy the content here, definitely make sure to follow us on Twitter. You can join our Discord, discord.gg/Streamer Square. We're Streamer Square actually everywhere, which is pretty nice, so you can follow us on YouTube, Twitter, all that stuff, and here on Twitch for more live content. I will be back here tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for the Stream Doctor. I should be here tomorrow, unless I have graffiti all over my face from the charity stream. So, but I should be here tomorrow. So that's tomorrow at 4 p.m. If you guys stream, definitely come by because I will review your channel. I'll give you live feedback for your stream. So definitely make sure to check that out here on the Twitch channel. So that's going to do it for us today, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for our episode on VR streaming. Cyborg Daniel, thank you again for joining us today.
Thanks a ton.
And we'll see you guys soon. So have a good night, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Good night.
See you.